To get you guys up to speed, I got my hands on this jet boat that I'm cleaning up and trying to fix to get it to run again. We have to do a couple different things on it, like we got to drain the gas out, needs a battery, needs some oil, and I also have to replace the DESS post on this. So that's what we're going to focus on mainly today. Also taking the intakes off and making sure the carburetors are pretty clean as well. So let's get into it. Not bad, not bad. I got it in low, taking it easy. Oh my God, we actually used the mule for work. Not too shabby. So now that the boat is really clean, we still got some stuff to do on the inside. I'd like to, bring the brightness out on this a little bit. Maybe redo some of the seats, especially the seats in the back. We drained the gas out. The next thing we got to do is do some work in here. Obviously, it needs cleaning, but also the carburetors are probably gunked up to hell, so we're gonna clean those out. And we also have to do the ignition switch. It's called the DESS, digitally encoded security system. We're gonna replace that and see if the boat will fire up. Probably also drain the oil and replace that too. So what we're gonna do is take these intakes off. And these actually pops back and slides out. That's how you do it. Pull this back, it slides out. Throttle blades look pretty damn clean. I'll spray some carb cleaner in when we get going with it, but they look pretty good. I see some ants in here too. I'm gonna have to take care of those puppies. But not bad. Rumor has it, when you don't get any ignition, it's this here that you put the key onto that goes. So we're gonna replace this. There's no way to access this from underneath. You actually have to open this up, take out all your stuff for dry storage, and it's tucked underneath there. First we gotta get this off here. Let's try that. This thing is old, probably been on here for 20 years. That comes off. I push this down, we'll take it out from the inside underneath. You can see this is now dropped out, and we can pull it out. But everything is still tied into its original zip ties. So we'll just pop off that zip tie, pop off that zip tie. DESS switch that I got is just a pigtail. So we are gonna have to do some wiring, and it's always easier to do wiring outside of the cabin here because it's tight. So this is the plug actually. So we're gonna undo this. That plug is out. I have to take the whole DESS harness out, and we're gonna splice and heat shrink into that. Okay, so I peeled back part of the sheathing, and I'll just cut it off here. What's good with this is the one that I got, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. I got it on Amazon. All of the wires are all the same, so it shouldn't be difficult to discern which ones we're hooking up to. They're all color coded the same. So we'll cut this. I got some heat shrink. I'll show you how I do it. Start by cutting here. Put our connectors on. We're gonna make a little bit more space on these. I like a nice solid connection. If you're interested in these wire strippers too, they were super cheap as well. I'll put those on Amazon. Anytime you guys click that stuff, whether you buy it or not, it helps their channel out. Even if you buy something else in the 24 hours following it, it will help out. So what I like to do is, which I feel like it's almost a rule, you have to put the heat shrink on the wire before you close it. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work. I think I got ones that are the right size here, so let's do this here. I actually could take about half of this old one and use this as as well to cover the rest of it. So we might do that. Let's see. Now I'm using 3 red solder connectors, the small ones. Now, the only time I've ever had a problem using solder connectors when putting wires together was when it was in a fuel tank. Outside of that, it worked pretty good. So what I like to do is, try to get it on camera for you. Line them up, get the other one in, and once they're in, mesh them kind of together so they kind of hold a little bit. Like that. Then I slide this back through. So they're kind of like bunched up on each other, like that. Once they're bunched up like that, it'll hold. We're just gonna hit it with a heat gun then. And on there, melted good. Once it's on there, even after a few seconds, you cooling it off, you can try to pull on that, and it ain't going anywhere. Then I slide this over it, and we'll finish out our connection. That'll be solid, super solid. No water gonna get in there. And then we'll finish out the other 2 and put it back on. Make sure you take this off of the DESS key before you put it back in, because it's not going to pop all the way through. But we'll go ahead and plug it in. That's my light. My light dropped. Watch this thing end up dropping on my head too. It'd be great. Great. So we're going to feed this back through the same way, up and through here, and then up into that. Plugged in. Feed that in there. We use the lock ring to slide it down, lock her in. All right, so that's how you replace your DESS post. I don't think I have to reprogram anything because it's just the post as opposed to the key. The key's not changing, everything's staying the same. But I still got to get some oil and a new battery for the boat before I start trying to fire it up. So make sure you guys stick around and subscribe to see if this actually solves our problem and gets this boat going. I'm really excited for that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.